From San Diego, California, this is a One Extraordinary Marriage Show, where being busy is overdone, romancing is fun, and scheduling sex has taken the guesswork out of wondering when you're going to get some. I'm Tony DeLorenzo, your co-host, along with my beautiful wife, Elisa. From coast to coast and around the world, thank you for joining us. It's time to talk sex, love, and commitment. Give us a call on the Hug Hotline at 858-876-5663 or send us an email to hugs@oneextraordinarymarriage.com. In today's show, we talk about taking off your clothes as you step into the power of a long, hot shower to create a connection in your marriage.
And as we start today's show, I want you to think about this quote from Anonymous. It says, "Let's go take a hot shower. It's like a normal shower, but with both of us in it."
Mm-hmm.
So excited to dig into this topic of a hot shower. We're going to have a lot of fun with this, but we start each and every One Extraordinary Marriage show with a hug. And for those of you that are brand new to the show, you may be like, what's a hug? Well, a hug's an opportunity for you to hear from someone else in the one family, someone like you who's experiencing transformation in their marriage. And this week's hug is sponsored by RX Bar Kids, and you can check it out at rxbar.com/one. And here's what I love. RX Bar Kids is a clean label snack bar made with high quality real ingredients designed specifically for kids. You know, they have egg whites, fruits, and nuts as the base, and they contain 7 grams of protein with absolutely 0 added sugar and no gluten, soy, dairy, or other bad stuff.
And they're yummy.
They're absolutely yummy.
Even for us adults.
Well, the fact of the matter is they come in 3 flavors: chocolate chip, apple cinnamon raisin, and berry blast. And no joke, the chocolate chip, I can't keep the chocolate chip in our house.
No, they're just yummy.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's perfect because we as moms are always looking for, like, what do we, toss in the workout bags or the sports bags? What do we toss in the lunch? What do we keep in the car to just keep the hangries at bay? And RX Bar is so good for it. And I love knowing that this is a clean, healthy alternative for my kids. And here's the thing, you can find RX Bar Kids at Target stores, or to get 25% off your first order, visit rxbar.com/one and enter promo code 1 at checkout. Your kids are going to love the taste, and you're going to love knowing that they are eating clean. So this hug that I'm about to share with you actually comes from an email that we received. And she starts off saying, "Hello, friends. I was introduced to your podcast by my best friend last October."
Thank you to your best friend. We
Absolutely.
love those guys.
She labeled it a game changer for her marriage. Little did she know it was an answer to a desperate prayer for me. I had told no one about the trouble my husband and I were having. Before the one family, marriage troubles felt like the loneliest kind. Our marriage was on the precipice of a downward spiral, and God threw us a lifeline. You guys. At the time, we'd been married for 5 years, and our daughter was about 18 months old. Since she was born, I'd thrown myself into motherhood, and not realizing I'd shut my husband out. He said to me at one point, "It feels like we're just roommates." At the time, I didn't realize how damaging that was to our marriage. My husband was trying to tell me what he needed, and I brushed him off like he was being whiny, needy, and selfish. When I was told about your podcast, I saw it as a possible solution. I honestly think I was looking for validation for me and a solution to fix him. It's so embarrassing to say now. So I started to listen and was immediately hooked. The episode that opened my eyes was number 334, The Emasculated Man. As I listened, I thought, oh no, I'm doing that. The whole time, I thought my husband was the problem in our marriage. I had no idea I was the larger part of the problem. Honestly, I was exhilarated to be part of the problem because I knew I could change. And I did. And then a miracle happened. He too began to change. We're now able to talk about differences instead of being defensive or debating each other. We finally talk about money, our budget, our savings, and we've been experiencing infertility for 3 years now. But instead of sex becoming mechanical or stressful, it's been fun, exciting, special, and experimental. The work you are doing is saving marriages and changing lives. Thank you for coming to the microphones every week and being so vulnerable with all of us. I tell everyone about your podcast. I even have a mom Facebook page and have started talking about the two of you. My mom has even started listening to your podcast.
Right on. There you go.
So many people are afraid to talk about their problems in marriage, just as I was, and you've normalized it, given valuable solutions that make honoring our marriage simple yet fun. I can't say it enough. Thank you. Love you guys.
I love it. I love these hugs. And for those of you, again, who are new, we welcome you to the One Family.
Absolutely.
We're honored and blessed to have you here, and we're looking forward to seeing and hearing an email like this from you.
Well, and the thing I love about this is her best friend introduced her. She's now introduced a whole bunch of other people, including her mom.
Mm-hmm.
That's the power of the relationships that you all are building. Now, as Tony shared with you all at the beginning of the top of the show, we're going to be talking about the power of a long, hot shower.
That's right.
And
let's get into the shower.
Let's get into the shower. And actually, the idea for this show came from one of the members from the Position of the Month Club. And if you guys don't know about it, check it out at positionofthemonthclub.com. But here's the message that prompted the show. It said, I tell you, we get a lot of things settled in the shower. There's something about being naked. My husband has a tactic that when you're arguing, you have to get naked. Now, that can depend on where you are. It has made us laugh in the middle of a disagreement when he does it and led to other things when I do it. LOL. We've had budget meetings in the shower, kid discussions, etc. There are no distractions other than each other, of course. And so we saw that post up on the Facebook page there for Position of the Month Club, and it got us to thinking about marriage and showers. Now, Tony and I are a couple that regularly showers together.
There was a time, though, I would say that we didn't.
Oh, yeah.
There was definitely a time. Over these last 10 years, though, definitely do it more. And even will coordinate our schedules so that we do connect at least, I would say, a handful of times, 4 to 5 times a week in the shower.
Absolutely. And, it's interesting because there aren't a lot of statistics on how many couples shower together. Like it was very hard to find much on there, although one kind of vague study said somewhere around 56% of couples shower together, but doesn't tell me how frequently or anything like that. So 1 of every 2 of you have at least done it.
Yeah.
Right. But the one number that was really interesting as we started looking at statistics around showers, that the average shower is 8 minutes long.
Okay.
Now, I like to argue the fact that if Tony and I are taking a shower together, I get to take double the amount of time. Right. So we get a 16-minute shower. Although if you ask our kids, they'll tell us that we're in the shower for like 20 to 30 minutes.
Which is not true.
Yeah. No, and so we're not talking about the environmental consciousness of being in a shower that long. We're talking about the impact of your marriage on the two of you being in the shower at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And we want to talk about why. Like, why take a shower together? What are the benefits to you as an individual, to your marriage? And what can you do in the shower? Right? Because, some of you have never showered together and you're like, okay, Tony and Lisa, this is like really a whole show on showering together. And I'm going to say, keep an open mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some of you do shower together, but it's more just kind of like a functional thing.
Yeah. You're just getting in at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, get yourself going or clean yourself off at the end of the day and moving on. Right.
And some of you are like, you know what? We do shower together, but maybe we just need to like get our heads into like, what else can we do?
In the shower.
Now,
when it's hot.
Right. But not scalding. Because I know some of you have like different temperature settings, right? Mm-hmm. Some people like it like super scalding hot. And some people, I won't go so far as to say cold showers, but cooler relative to your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But let's talk about the most obvious one, right? Because people are like, okay, taking a shower together, 2 naked people. Yes, you can have sex in the shower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. Like, you don't even have to it doesn't take much to wrap your head around it. It's warm, hot water. It's 2 naked bodies. You have a natural noise machine coming in the form of the running water.
That's right. Best position, I would say, is the standing rear entry.
Mm-hmm.
Great position for, a tight space. That's a great one. You can come up with others depending on, your situation. Hey, if you got a big old shower, go for it. Go do whatever you want. I mean, if you need to put something on the ground there so it's not cold on your back, go do your thing.
The one thing I will say about sex in the shower is that you need a good water-based lubricant.
It does help.
Because it's just all the water running.
Yep.
So, there are many, many out there. One of our favorites is Good Clean Love.
Yeah. And we now have a One Extraordinary Marriage Amazon store that you can just go to. And we've curated all these items that we've discussed and we're continuing to add to it. So you can go to oneextraordinarymarriage.com/Amazon shop. And right there, you can see Good Clean Love plus other items that you could check out.
So we've talked about the obvious, sex in the shower, but let's talk about the other reasons why the two of you might consider showering together, and we would encourage you to shower together. Showers are a natural stress reliever, right? There's a reason that at the end of the day, somebody's like, I just need a hot shower, right? The water, the temperature, just that that repetitive motion of it just like falling over you. And here's the thing. Tony and I were actually just having this conversation. If you need a good shower head, get one.
That's right.
Right? Because if you've got like the tiny little shower head, or you've got the shower head where it's just like drip, 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 and it's not a good experience for you,
then make a change to it. Elise and I have had different shower heads. I mean, the one we have now is nothing fancy, but we don't have a massively big shower, so it works for us.
Right.
I mean, it's plenty enough. Thinking about getting another one, honestly. But think about what you're using, because if you need a 2-head shower head, because it helps for you guys to both be in there and be warm and enjoy this time together, then go for it. We have it on the Amazon shop there, so go check them out.
Absolutely. And, as you're leading such busy lives, and the fact of the matter is that you're all leading busy lives. There isn't a single person that listens to the One Extraordinary Marriage show that's like, hey, I've got nothing to do, right? You're married. You've got something to do, right? Getting in the shower together is the difference between, carrying around literally a boatload of stress and letting that stress wash down the drain, right? And when you do it together, it goes into the next part. You have somebody else to wash your back. Like, let's just talk practical here for a second.
Hey, this is your team. We've talked about this so much over the years, being your team. Like, Elise and I are Team DiLorenzo. This is where we watch each other, where we take care of each other. And what she was about to say there was, you have someone there to wash your back. You have someone there that you're part of the same team. Work together in this area.
Because the fact of the matter is there's that space between your shoulder blades that no matter how you twist your arms, either going up above your head or like twisting from the elbow and going up, you can't reach that spot. You just can't.
Hey, I got my hair cut the other day, and Elisa noticed that there was a bunch of like hairs on my chest area, and I just handed her the soap, and I was just like, hey, then you wash it. I couldn't see it. I missed it. I gave her the soap.
He's like,
fun.
You see it, you take care of it.
Yeah.
But it's that kind of joint experience where you can get into this very sensual place of washing each other, right? Whether it's washing each other's bodies or washing each other's hair, where you're just soapy and naked.
And doesn't mean it always has to lead to sex. I would say for us, I mean, what would you say? 1 out of 10 times? Every 15 times?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
I mean, for us, sex in the shower, it honestly is probably going to be between 1 in 10 and 1 in 15 times. Mm-hmm. That's that. But the rest of the time is we're in there for the other ones, for the time together, the communicating together, the sensual part of it, of just serving one another in a way that you normally wouldn't in your normal day-to-day life. I mean, I'm not going around like soaping Elisa up, in our day-to-day life. In the shower.
Outside of the shower.
Right. But I wouldn't do that like outside of the shower either.
Yeah. It's
not something that where I'd just be like, hey, get in this little bucket here and I'm going to soap you up. You know what I mean? In the shower, yes.
Such a random image.
I know.
But you actually, you mentioned something else that is important too about the shower, is that it's a great place to communicate. Mm-hmm. Right? Because for those of you that have kids in your house, it may be the only place that you can actually go somewhere, lock the door. Thank goodness for all bathroom door locks. Mm-hmm. Right? You may not have a lock on any other room in your house, but the bathrooms always seem to have a bathroom door lock.
And those of you who have littles, Elise and I, when our kids were younger, we'd make sure that they were usually asleep, mm-hmm. Maybe in the morning before they got up. And if you have the monitor, I mean, put it in the shower next to you so you can hear it. I mean, right. And if you got to jump out, you got to jump out, but you can still make it in there. Just because you have littles doesn't mean you can't make it into the shower.
But for those of you that have older kids.
And you want to get in the shower when you have older kids, because sometimes that's the only place you can get away from their little ears hearing everything.
Well, and that's just it. It's the only place that you can get away from, okay, what are mom and dad talking about? Mm-hmm. And it's also, the place where the two of you can have a conversation. Right? Where, nobody else can listen. When you're in the shower, I mean, Tony and I can be in our bathroom together. One person in the shower, one person at the sinks. We trying to have a conversation. We can't even communicate to each other.
It starts to frustrate us because we're like, what did you say? I don't know. What did you say? And it's just like, the person in the shower is usually going, come here to the shower and talk to me because I can't hear you over the water and everything else that's going on.
So when the two of you are in the shower, very much like that post that I read at the beginning of this show, it's an opportunity for you to discuss things like finances. It's an opportunity for you to discuss the kids when they can't hear you. Amen to that, right? It's this opportunity because and here's an area that we have got to, as married couples, wrap our head around. Being in the shower together naked is being vulnerable with another human being.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
You simply can't hide anything when you're in the shower together. It's not like in the early days of our marriage where, I would like get dressed in the closet and then I would like come to bed fully dressed. And when Tony's like, hey, want to have sex? I'm like, sure. And we'd have the lights off and I'd get undressed and we'd have sex. And then I'd keep the lights off and walk to the bathroom and like get cleaned up and put on my pajamas. Never once really showing my naked body to my husband. Like, I think back, I'm like, wow, that was a lot of effort not to show my body to you, not to be vulnerable, right? And as our marriage has grown, as we've grown in vulnerability, we can be in the shower together. And I'm like, hey, this is who I am.
And vice versa.
Right? 2 kids, 43 years old. This is who Elisa is. Right? And that's something that comes out of this shared experience of the two of you going, okay, you know what? Lights are on, clothes are off. Right? Can we be in this vulnerable place together and be accepting of one another, be encouraging of one another, be romantic, be sensual? Can we do all of that? Literally, I don't know, what's the size of a shower?
It depends on your shower.
Okay, it depends on your shower. But we all know.
We've had showers that were, what were they? 3x3, 4x4 squares.
That
small.
Was a small.
We've had small.
How did we
showers.
Shower together in that tiny little shower?
I have no idea. We've had big showers like we had on Deerwood. That was just a big huge space with a nice seat area. And we have what we have now, which is not. It's sort of in between those two, but we have a nice little sit down section in it. So, custom showers. Think about. We've walked into many of places and just awesome custom showers, 2, 3, 4 shower heads. And so whatever you have, make do. Right. I think the key is don't look at the limitation. What is the opportunity? Because often we look at stuff, again, when Elise and I had the little 4x4 shower, we could have looked at it as a limitation and going, well, it's really tight. And how are we going to move around in there? How are we going to do anything in this shower? Instead, we looked at it as an opportunity to engage with one another. And this wasn't a time when we were still sort of figuring out what we were doing in our marriage. This is, prior to the 60 Days of Sex Challenge and then after the 60 Days of Sex Challenge. So we're talking 10 years ago. And we were maneuvering in this small shower. Honestly, trying to soap yourself up, you're touching one another.
Right. Yeah. You couldn't help but soap up the other person simply. I think back on that,
soapy.
On that bathroom, single sink, the toilet, the little tiny shower, and we had little kids at that same time. So, everybody's in the bathroom. Yep. It's so funny to think back on your life and how it changes. And we've talked about all of these benefits to showering together. But like I said at the top of the show, I know that there are some of you that are like, Lisa, we don't shower together regularly. Right. And maybe there are others of you that are saying, we haven't in a while. Like, how do we get to that point of making this part of our toolbox? Everything that we bring to you guys here on the show, every time that we get behind the microphones, we have the purpose of equipping you with another tool in your toolbox, another strategy to say, okay, you know what? I don't have to do it all the time. It's like Tony said, we don't have sex every time we're in the shower together. We just don't. 1 out of 15, 1 out of 10, right? But we have this tool in our toolbox of showering together. And we want to talk about how you guys get to the next level of incorporating that into your toolbox. But, before we do that, I just want to remind you to grab your RX bars for kids. Do it at Target or get 25% off your first order by visiting rxbar.com/1 and entering promo code 1 at checkout. Whether it's, the chocolate chip or the apple raisin or the berry blast, you're going to love knowing that your kids are eating clean. It's going to make everybody easier or everybody happier. So this week, right? For those of you that are thinking, oh my gosh, Elisa, this is like way, way, way outside of my comfort zone, right? Like I don't get naked in front of my spouse, right?
Let alone going to go jump in a shower and hang out in there for 8 minutes.
Or longer. Remember, if the two of you are doing it together, you can double that.
All right.
I'm just saying, this week, I want you to think about the option or the opportunity? Tony used the word opportunity. What is the opportunity to create connection with your spouse by saying, let's try it one time. Let's just try it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Maybe go work out in the yard together so you're like really dirty, or like clean out the garage. Like we were with friends last night and they were talking about how they were cleaning out the garage all day Saturday. Right? Yeah, Saturday. And, maybe it's that. Maybe it's, you go to take a run together. So you're both all hot and sweaty. You're like, hey, let's just save water. Let's take a shower together. Right? Maybe that's just that quick introduction.
And the other thing is too, it may be one of those things that you just, it may not have to be any of those things. It may be just waking up in the morning and you guys have a late start or whatever it may be, but letting your spouse know the night before and just being like, hey, babe, when we get up tomorrow morning, we know the kids are going to be sleepy, or you know what, I know you get up earlier than I do, and I know you take a shower. I'm going to jump in the shower with you tomorrow morning. And just leave it at that. I mean, surprise them. I mean, there have been times that I'm sitting in a shower and, just going about my way, and all of a sudden here comes Elisa jumping in the shower. I'm like, hey, bonus. All right, cool. Jump on in here, girl. Let's have some fun here.
Nothing like a naked body to create surprise. The element of surprise.
The biggest thing is, I think, for any of us, when it comes to this spot of like, we haven't done it, it feels awkward, to know that we've all been there. Mm-hmm. Elisa and I have been there ourselves. And the best way to overcome that is to do something. Talk to your spouse, show up in there naked without them even knowing, whatever it may be. You have to overcome that internal fear that's saying, no, don't do it, and going, you know what? I am going to do it because it's going to create a connection today and in this moment that I'm going to remember and my spouse is going to remember.
And just as a side note, it's not, it's like an added bonus with this show, is that as you become more comfortable in your body and more confident in who you are, your shape, the way that you are right now in this season of life, whether you've been having babies or you've been coming off an illness or whatever it is to say, I'm going to walk into this confidently. Confidence is extremely sexy. Mm-hmm. It creates this level of connection and vulnerability to say, I love you and I'm going to be naked with you. And ladies, let me tell you, your husbands love that confidence.
Yes, we do.
Right? When you're just like, I'm going to own it. And it creates that opportunity for him to just be like, wow, that's my wife. That's my wife.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I'm pretty excited. Now, for those of you that maybe it's been a while, right? Like you used to do this, or maybe, it happens rather infrequently.
And this may be because you have different schedules.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just the season you're in. Maybe you're doing a lot of traveling, one of you or both of you. It may just be, you got into this cycle, right? Where we used to, it's a show we talked about a couple of weeks ago, The Broken Record.
Yeah.
We used to, you're stuck on that groove. You got to pick up the needle right now and you got to move it to the next groove and go, we're going to. Mm-hmm. We're going to get back. We're going to get back into the shower together. And it may only be one time a week. That might be what you have right now, but make it happen.
Well, and I think of doing this almost on the same level as the intimacy lifestyle. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the fact of the matter, folks, is that the intimacy lifestyle isn't just about sex. You can use that principle of being intentional and of taking turns and of taking the lead in any area of your marriage. So maybe this week you're going to take the lead, like on the days that you would, have for initiating sex, you're going to take the lead and be like, hey, you're either going to hop in the shower with your spouse, like Tony said, or maybe you're going to invite your spouse to go on a shower date. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, hey, let's just plan this. Let's go on a shower date. And they'll be like, what the heck are you talking about? And you can say, you and me, 8:00, naked, hot water, bubbles.
Yeah. And if you need to do anything more than that, you can text them, you can write a note, you can tell them everything you need to tell them to get them ready to get in there. And this goes vice versa. I hope you guys are realizing this. This isn't coming from the wife's only asking the husbands. Mm-hmm. And this isn't the husband always have to ask the wife. This is a mutual deal. And one of you needs to step up to the plate because maybe you're the one who's just feeling like you've stepped away for a little bit.
Sure. Re-engage.
Don't know which one of you it might be, but right now, this week is the week to re-engage this practice and get in there together and figuring out what does this look like for us now? Because there was a time when Elisa where we weren't really into showering. And now, more times than not, again, over the course of the week, we are in there because we're checking our schedules. Are you doing it this morning? No, but I'm going to do it this evening. Okay, cool. I'll wait for you this evening. Let's go take a shower this evening, baby doll,
Right, because I would rather wait and have that time with Tony to catch up on our days, to have those conversations. Just like that post that I read, they're covering all kinds of things in the shower. And it's amazing when you've got 8 to 16 minutes based on average where you're just focused on one another, right? You've literally stripped away all of the in-between stuff. You're not wearing anything. You've got nothing in between the two of you. Just be like, hey, here I am. Here's what's going on. Here's what the day's been like. Here's what the kids have been like. Here's whatever. And then, like I said, you wash all those cares down the drain.
Yeah. And that might be something you guys talk about. It may be something where you guys have discussed this and you're going through as you're doing this, is that what's in the shower stays in the shower. It's like, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens in the shower stays in the shower, because we're going to walk out of here and look at our marriage and our lives in a different light. Mm-hmm. And maybe you have to do that right now. Maybe that's just where you're at. And what a place to be able to do that, because there's a delineation, right? There's a start point when the shower goes on and you guys step in, right? The water's hot. You guys are there. You're soaping each other up. Maybe you're talking about your finances. Maybe you're talking about the kids. Maybe it's, discussing work, whatever it may be. And when you get out, everything stops. You towel off, but it stays there.
That's so good. So good. And finally, for those of you that are showering regularly, but maybe it's been a while since you've used the shower as a place for sexual intimacy.
Use it. I don't know what more to say. Use it.
Use it.
Get lube. If it's lube because your wife is dry, or ladies because you're dry, and it is hurtful. I would say
painful.
There's a word. Sorry, painful. We get it, and I mean we actually just even have lube just that sits in our shower now. It's the Good Clean Love one, and it just sits in our shower because we know there are going to be times when that happens, and it's not like, oh, we got to go find the lube. And it's right there. Use it for this instant. We're going to have fun. Call it good. Boom.
Right. Keep that water-based lube handy.
Yes.
Right. This is what we talk about in every area. Like you want to have your toolbox ready when you need it. So I'm a big believer in lubricants. You guys know we have a whole show called Lube It Up. Mm-hmm. We're a big believer. It's not just me. It's a we. But, doing all of this, it allows you to have success. Right? That's what building your toolbox is all about. That's where saying, you know what? We haven't showered together. Let's try it this week. Or it's been a while. Let's reconnect in the shower. Let's be intentional. Let's go on a shower date. And here's the thing, guys. Shower dates cost you $0, right? You want an inexpensive date this week? Boom. Go on a shower date.
Boom. And if you want to make it all spruced up and spiced up a little bit more, take some fruit in there.
Bring the candles, turn off your bathroom lights and have candles.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of couples who will bring sparkling wine into them or whatever they're going to.
Seriously, go all out.
It becomes an adventure in its own. Again, does it have to be like that every single time? No, but I know, and we've heard of couples, Friday night, Saturday night, it's sort of like it's wind down time. Boom, here we go.
The thing is, you got to get intentional, guys. Mm-hmm. You have this resource in your home. Don't let another week go by that you're not using the resources that you have literally at your fingertips, right? And watch what happens as you step into this place of saying, it used to just be a hot shower. Now it's a hot shower with both of us in it, creating connection. Mm-hmm. Night and day difference. Night and day.
Night and day. Yeah, let's do it this week. Hey, no matter where you're at, what level, never done it before, have done in the past but sort of gone away from it, or those of you who are just in the shower and utilizing that area, let's take it to that next level in each one of those, no matter where we're at. And more importantly, let's share with our spouse what it means to us to get in there together. It's not just about the sex, it's more about that sensual time, the romantic time, the conversations we get to have, and some alone time, just you and I. You know what? As we're discussing this, I'm looking at Elisa going, I think it's time for us to go jump in the shower after this show. So I hope that you guys will as well. Now, if you're driving and going to work, understand. Get it when you get home. We love you guys. Have a fantastic week. And more importantly, go enjoy your shower this week. We love you guys. Take care. God bless. And we'll catch you next week. Love you guys.